You're now listening to Off the Collar, powered by Backswing Golf Events.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Off the Collar. It's your host, Nick Johnson, and joining me again, my co-host, Shelby Brackmuller. How you doing today, Shelby? I haven't seen you in a while.
Good. I know. It's been a few days, I think. What have you been up to?
I'm finally back in Austin. It's
Thank God.
I didn't really remember how to get back into my place. It's been like
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, not really sure why I'm back here. Other than the fact that all my stuff is here.
You live there.
Other than the fact that I live here, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was a good trip. I only planned on staying in San Diego for like 10 days. So,
And it ended up being like a month.
Like literally a month. Yeah.
A month.
You'd be surprised how much mail just piles up over a month.
Yeah.
Because I
could
wasn't smart
imagine.
enough to stop. Well, again, I didn't think I'd be gone for 4 weeks, but here we are. We made it back. It was dude, that was such a wild trip back. I was saving
Your flight?
Yeah, I was saving this story for the podcast. Like I haven't
Yes.
I told my parents, I think, briefly, but not the full story. Like it is something
We need details.
I don't think I'll ever forget this flight, or just this day in general. But let's bring on our guest this week because I think she's gonna want to hear this. Who do we have this week, Shelby?
What's up, Erikah? How are you?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. I'm pretty interested
Yeah,
in hearing the story. I'm a little anxious too.
Yeah, it's just a travel story, really. So we can share some notes, but it's been, man, I'm actually regretting. So I wrote down all these things on my notes on my phone during what happened on the flight so I could remember it. But my phone's over there recording, so we're gonna have to go off of memory. But basically, first off, it's Southwest, right? So checking in on time is like super important, so you can get a decent seat.
A good seat.
So you're not like B54.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not, Erikah, you're not far off. I was C11 because I forgot to check. I forgot to check in for my flight.
Yeah. Anytime I see a C, I get sick.
Oh, so I should. The irony is, like, before the flight took off, they said, like, if you want to upgrade your position to A1 through 15 or whatever, just pay $40 and you can do it. And I almost did it, but I didn't. Figured it'd be fine. I honestly thought like I would get the emergency exit row because no one ever takes that. So, and I missed it by like 2 people.
Tragic.
So anyway, so I had to put my bag like in the back of the plane. And then they walk me all the way to the front, and I get stuck on like the second row and right in between 2 great grandmas. Like they had been clearly talking like on the flight. So I asked them like politely if they don't mind sitting next to each other, and they basically both shook their head at me like they're not going to move. So I
wouldn't move either.
No
middle
so
seat.
I had to sit between both of them, and they were literally so close. Like all the air I was breathing was coming out of their mouths. Like they're so close to me. I'm like, if I'm gonna catch COVID, it's gonna be right now.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So there's like, I remember their names: Debbie on the left of me, and Trish on the right of me. And Debbie is like, I don't know if you can even see it in the camera, but she's like here on me, where like Trish is like here on me, and there's no like divider up, right? Like the armrest.
You didn't put the armrest down?
Well, it wasn't down when I sat down. Like this was their aisle, and I'm just taking up space at this point.
You're just there. It's their world. You're just living in it.
Yeah.
You're on the Debbie and Trish show.
I was. So I kind of pulled a trick maneuver, and I like reach for the armrest to pretend like I needed to lean my seat back when I just wanted to like put a barrier down, um, which Trish took as a invitation to just come closer to me and take up like they're literally
Oh
talking
no.
to each
no.
other this way.
Don't
Uh,
they know that it's like a universal rule that if you get the middle seat, you get both armrests?
Yeah,
I
I agree.
it should be right.
That's
The
how
It is a
I
aisle
like
gets
universal rule.
mark my territory. I'm like, down. This is
Yeah.
my zone.
right.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I'm in the same boat. Like the aisle gets a little extra leg room because the aisle, obviously, and then the window gets the window side to
The
like
window.
rest their head up. Right.
Mhm.
So either way, they are just talking back and forth, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to survive this flight. I have a ton of like editing to do. I was going to get so much work done, and I had a drink coupon, so I got myself a tequila soda,
There
and I
you
was
There
like,
go.
you go.
no, and I tried to like do my own thing, but they just weren't. I had to just lean into it, so I leaned into it and was just egging on the conversation for 3 hours,
Oh my
um, and the topics that they discussed so openly with me were appalling. Like I shouldn't say appalling, but that's the first word that comes to my mind.
Shocking.
So the first thing was like talking about their grandchildren. Like they just met each other, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. They don't know each other. So they were talking about their grandchildren, which the one on my left had been married for 54 years. That conversation turned into the
You
one
knew
on
way too much about these people.
dude, I'm writing a book.
It's your
The
grandma.
Yeah.
Trish on my right then told me that she went through a divorce 5 years ago, went back to college at age 60, took one course, or no, her husband would only allow her to take one course, but she was a rebel and took three.
Okay,
Um,
Trish.
yeah,
You go, girl.
I like that energy. Trish is my favorite
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, for sure.
and then Debbie they're both very religious. They realize they live 10 minutes away from each other and that their churches are very like close. So
They're
I'm not
best friends now.
I'm not like a super religious person, but it was a conversation I didn't feel comfortable, you know, interjecting because they were going on so many tangents, like talking about Jesus and God and the Holy Spirit, and like one of them said that
They were having a
what did she,
revival on the plane.
I was going through a full baptism on this plane, like legitimately. I was very quiet, and they asked me at one point like what my beliefs were, and I would say I'm like fairly agnostic. I don't know. I don't really define myself, but I was Presbyterian growing up, so I just threw that in the conversation just so they leave me alone. Um, what else did that turn into? Debbie goes to she talked to me about golf. So I told her I was into golf. She's like, "Oh, I can't stand going out with my husband for 4 or 5 hours." Five five minutes
Understandable.
later, five
Yeah.
minutes later, she says that she prays every day for 3 to 4 hours. I'm like, okay. Not sure
Okay.
how those don't
Yeah.
add up, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then what else did she bring up? I really wish I could look at my notes right now. Uh, let me see. Oh, Blink 182 was playing in my ear. That like, what age am I again? That was super ironic. It felt like I was in one of those old '90s like sitcom movies when that song started playing. What was it? I had all these things written down too, and I titled it "Flight Conversation." Okay, here it is.
Like,
So religion.
Like conversation.
I was doing this while they're like right in front of me too. Religion, grandkids, travel. Oh, they really like told me I should travel while I'm on a plane, which I thought was hilarious.
That is
Um,
kind of
ch-
ironic.
what?
cheating husbands.
Oh dear.
Oh, the one on my right, Trish said pretty openly that she never had the vaccine, but got COVID twice and almost died. Um,
Oh my
Okay.
God.
I already mentioned the college at 60. Oh, they were super, super close. Like any gesture they would make after I kind of just egged them on would be like touching my arm or like, tapping me or like
Yeah.
the center. I had my tray table down and they would use my tray table as like emphasis in their conversation, like hit it or like touch
Mhm.
it or like I was
Yeah.
very much a part of this conversation.
That's a lot.
And then at one point, I looked at the stewardess or flight attendant, and I was trying to get my trash just thrown away. And I think she saw like the panic on my face and brought me over another shot of tequila.
What a
All
woman.
right.
So yeah,
My
so it
kind of
was
lady.
High quality
yeah,
service
it
right
was
there.
Absolutely.
it was great. It was much needed. I felt really bad for the people sitting around us because I definitely egged it on, and then I at one point told Debbie that I had a podcast, and that just like pushed her over the cliff. Like she's like, ask me any. I have stories about everything. Like,
hmm
what do you want to know? I'm like, oh, geez.
I think Debbie
This
should
Debbie will
be a
be our
guest on the
next.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another part of it. So I'll go into that in a second. But I asked her what the drug situation was like in the 70s.
Oh
as
my
my as
gosh.
my like as my I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it would like stir up some shit. But she cut that down pretty quickly. She's like, "Oh, I never partook in anything like that." Um,
She was praying. She was praying for 4 hours every day. She
Yeah.
didn't have
yeah,
time for that.
She's busy.
no, she didn't have time for that. But yeah, speaking of her being on the podcast, so we had, I made the best out of it, and we had a good time. She was like, "Oh man, that flight went by so fast." I was like, "No, no,
No, it
you're
didn't.
You're like,
talking the whole,
no.
you're talking the whole time." But she goes, "How can I, see some of your stuff or be in contact with you?" And I know 100% she just wants my phone number, right? Is like, and
Yeah.
I tried throwing the kitchen sink at her in terms of like, do you have Facebook? Do you have Snapchat? Like Instagram, YouTube, Spotify? Like I even was like, you could listen to us on Spotify or Apple. It's like anything I
Watch,
could
she's gonna
do.
listen to this. What
Oh,
up, Debbie?
I
yeah.
hope she does.
So I gave her my number and we have a date this Friday.
I love that.
Oh,
I love
Yeah,
that for you.
Debbie
you'll,
just shot her shot. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah.
But quite an amazing flight to the point where like
Yeah.
now I'm friends with all the flight attendants because they saw all the stuff that was going down. I
I
had to
felt
look.
really
Oh my
bad for you.
gosh.
She asked me for a hug when she left the flight because I had to wait for
Oh.
my bag in the back, right? So there was like a goodbye.
hmm
And what's funny, so I did tell this story to my friend yesterday, and after all that happened, I totally forgot that I got like patted down through TSA. Like
Oh no.
hours before, I got randomly selected after going through the metal detector um, for a pat down, which was heavily in the crotchal region. Was
You're
a
just
hundred.
making sure.
The guy was
None.
like, "We have to give you, a random pat down. Do you want to do it in private or in public?" I'm like, "If you're gonna do it, let's." And he told me it was just gonna be from the belt down. So it's like, if you're gonna
Oh
do it,
my.
let's give everyone a show. I was like, oh my goodness.
Not having a good time.
No, and
No.
I was so distracted that I forgot all my bags were still on you know, the conveyor
No.
belt. So
Oh my
I
goodness.
had a group of like 4 people watching me get patted down.
Ugh.
So anyway,
Airport nightmares.
that was
Yeah.
the
I'm
story.
sure we all have some of those.
We survived somehow. But do you
Yeah.
guys have some war stories from all your travels? You guys are flying all over the country all the time, so I'm
Oh
hmm
yeah.
sure there's something.
Oh yeah, I ran into Bernhard Langer at the airport, and I was kind of like starstruck, like, oh my god. And he looked at me, and all I could say to him was, "Big fan, hi," and that's it. And he just kind of gave me a okay, gave me kind of
All
nod,
right.
like, all right, calm down.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been through some very rough flights in my day. I can't even name them all, but we would
Yeah.
have like delays after delays, and then we'd miss a layover, and then they'd have to redo it. And then it was just like, I got stuck at the airport one time overnight, and I had to literally sleep in the airport. It was
Yeah.
brutal.
Just being a golfer, we're super used to airports, and there's
Oh, yeah.
always some drama. It's actually more noticeable when I don't have any drama at the airport.
Yeah.
Crazy happened, and I was like, oh. I just had
You're
a
like,
really
wow.
calm experience. I was in and out. I got picked up, and that was my story. I was like, this is so smooth.
You're like, this is
Everything
wild.
went how it should have.
I didn't
That's
cry.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, I just totally forgot this part of that story. So Trish had gotten up to go to the bathroom a few times, and every time she
few times.
did, and every time she did, she told me it was because she has a UTI.
Oh,
I'm like,
Very personal.
tell her to just, get some Azo and drink a lot of water.
I mean, I don't know. I just like, good for them for living their life, but I was like, I don't need to know that. You could have just told me you're going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Just go to the bathroom.
Just yeah. So anyway, we're back here in Austin. We figured it out. Let's get into Erikah a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna mess up this name, so why don't you say it? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Oviedo, Florida. It's just a little bit north of Orlando.
Okay, and went to Stetson University just outside, like just a little bit further.
Yep, DeLand,
right?
Florida, about 40 minutes from Orlando. I played golf for 4 years, and I got a bachelor in finance.
Okay, very cool. I did read in your bio on Stetson's website that you picked it over UCF or USF. Got it. Shelby, you went to USF, right? Okay. I might have mixed those up because I thought you guys were like competitors, and I was kind of hoping to bring up some bad blood, but I don't think there is.
No, we competed. Shelby and I
definitely played together.
in junior golf. We were tiny.
Yep. Very little.
It was like Hurricane Tour or AJGA.
Yep. Hurricane, AJGA.
Yeah,
we
all
played.
of those.
I think we played you guys. We played Stetson
In college.
a few times.
Yeah.
Yep. So
we kind of had the same experiences growing up, going through junior golf and the nightmares of that.
And then we played professionally together for a little while.
Yeah. So I think that was WAPT or Eglin's tour.
Yep.
But there's a lot of drama out there, but it's what we like.
Yeah.
We picked this
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, we did.
we all picked this life.
It's just naturally competitive. I mean, obviously we're trying to beat up on each other, but at the end of the round, we're friends.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you guys do backswing events together?
We haven't.
We're about to.
We are?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't remember which event it's gonna be in. I'm literally gonna be over in Orlando on Friday.
Okay.
And then I'll be at Orange County National. And then there's one that she put us together. I don't remember where it's at.
Oh,
but
that's
we'll
good.
be
I
there
don't.
again.
Yeah, I don't even look until like 2 days before.
I know.
But I
Me
know I
neither.
have fun with Rachel.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, we need to have. Maybe we could have had Rachel on this episode. I haven't talked to her for a little bit, but she's at a different event like every day. I can't keep track of it.
She's busy.
We
just got to play. We just did an event together at Atlanta Athletic Club, and that course is pristine. My God. So that was so much fun.
So this is super random, but Shelby, I just realized that your background and my background, if we mash them together, it kind of would look like if we were sitting on the same couch. It
It
would be
would.
pretty cool. It
The
would.
same host room.
Yeah.
I'm outside, so it doesn't work.
uh, I might try to see if I can mess with it.
Yeah,
So
you
we
should.
it
Just
looks
like
like we're
Photoshop your surfboard on
like
her
I
wall.
think I would. Well, my arm rested on this side, so I'd put Shelby over here. So maybe it'd be like I'd be looking this way.
Wait, which way am I supposed to?
Look the other way.
That's
That
There you
way?
go. Yeah, it
I
looks like you guys are talking to each other
I love it.
All right. Well, make this recording even more complicated in the future.
now.
Yeah.
But what's I'm curious. So Shelby had quite the experience through COVID playing college golf. I'm sure you had, Erica, something similar during that time. Do you still have eligibility, or did you like what was college golf like during that time?
So COVID started around March, and we were actually in Hawaii playing a tournament. So my last collegiate tournament was in Hawaii. It was kind of a nice way to end it. I did not want to go back to college. I don't even know what type of eligibility I would have had. I don't care. I was ready to leave.
Yeah.
And so I started playing professionally June after I graduated. I started on a smaller mini tour, and there was nothing to play in, so all of the LPGA players were coming to these events as well. So some of my first tournaments as a pro, I'm hitting balls next to Christina Kim and Paula Kramer, and all of these top golfers are playing these events, and I'm just trying to get my footing going. So it was a really good experience, but at the time, I was sweating, so nervous. But it was really
I can
cool
imagine.
to play alongside them during that time. There was just nothing else to play in. Definitely didn't win at that time, but it was still a lot of fun. I got to see a lot of really good golf and kind of get a feel for what it was going to be like going
Yeah,
forward.
it's definitely a good learning experience, especially
Mhm.
playing with those girls, because you're
Yeah.
like, you don't know what to expect going into it, and then you have
Mhm.
all these like top-notch players
Right.
playing against you, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
guess this is how I'm supposed to do it.
Like you go from college straight to just to signing
Yeah.
up as a professional. And
Yeah.
I still have my
Okay.
Stetson gear on and
Yep. All your college gear.
yeah, and then you see the girls coming up with their big staff bags, their big sponsors, and I'm like, oh man,
Yep.
I kind of felt like a fish out of water, but it
Yeah.
was I definitely got into a groove over
Yeah.
that summer leading up into Q
That's good.
school. Well, it didn't
Very
Q school
cool.
didn't happen that year, but the following year.
Yeah. Very cool.
Well, now look at you. You're full on with Cobra Puma. What did
Yes.
Did we already show? Did we already show the little thing you
My
have
drink.
for the Open this week?
So,
Yeah.
in honor of the Open at Royal Liverpool, I have my Puma Liberty London tea set here, joining me for tea time.
Super
So
Nice.
it's going
fancy.
to be a Cobra collection coming out this week for the Open, and it's beautiful. A lot of floral prints, very elegant.
Yeah.
Really excited
Very cool.
to be a part of this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I was there for 5 years, and it's funny seeing like all the stuff that comes out, and in my
Yeah.
brain I'm always like, who came up with that one? Because I know all those guys that
Yeah,
would design it.
yeah.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
who was it?
Mhm.
Because that's dope.
They keep it really fun. They change it,
Yeah.
last campaign was beachy golf, and now we're kind of doing royal, posh
I
golf.
like it.
There's so many
Right.
ways to, I guess, dress up golf, so they do a really good
Yeah.
job of keeping it diverse.
Yeah, they've
sure.
always had a good knack at creating solid collaborations, like Duvin, and they did some Albon stuff earlier when I was
Yeah.
there, and I have so much Puma stuff. It's crazy.
I love it.
5 years accumulates a lot of shoes.
Yes. I'm starting
Well,
to. I've just recently got with Puma, and my shoe collection is getting pretty big now. So
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's the dream.
Yeah.
We'll have to post this for all my old cronies at Puma Golf.
Yeah.
but yeah, they make a lot of fun stuff, and
Mhm.
I'm actually shockingly not wearing anything Puma right now, which is a rarity.
Shame on you.
We
I
need it.
know.
I need a bucket
It's
hat. I need to see it.
well, if it's not a paid podcast this week, so maybe hit me up, CPG. Let's see what we can put together. I don't have anything in earshot. Actually, I do.
There you go.
There you
It's
go.
gonna be a Puma podcast.
Yeah.
But they even sent
Oh,
tea
there it
bags.
is.
There we go. They even sent tea bags in this box, so they're really on point with this one.
Fun.
What kind of tea is it? Are we
It's
talking like Earl
English.
Grey or?
It's a little English breakfast I'm having. I want scone really bad right now.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It's tea time over there, isn't
It
it?
is
I would
full
think
tea
so.
time, yeah. And so we're having tea
This
time, spilling some tea.
this thing does not look
Spilling
Enjoying
good
some
all the
tea.
with
tea.
headphones
Mhm.
on.
I like the Puma hat.
I don't know. It doesn't fit with
That
my
looks
headphones
good.
on.
Buddy's gonna join us.
Oh
Aw.
my goodness.
Why does everyone have a dog except for me, Shelby?
I know. You need to get on the train.
Well,
Yeah.
Christmas is coming
My
soon.
whole life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Same.
Uh,
The dogs steal the show. That's why we
Oh
don't
yeah.
have.
Steal my heart too.
Yeah.
Shelby, should we go into some shotgun spinners questions?
Sure.
This is the first time we've used the actual spinner in a month.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Been going electronic. I don't know. It's kind of satisfying.
I like the real spinner.
Yeah.
Dude, this is
For
quite
sure.
a vibe. This is like, how many colors do I have going on right now?
You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
All right, the hat's going off.
I mean, I like it. My eyes are locked in on all the colors.
Yeah.
Visually stimulating.
I did miss I did miss my setup here though. It was Shelby's probably tired of me saying it, but dude, I don't even know how I
Every
was able to
time.
do any podcasts in San Diego. I had to go to like 25 different coffee shops just because the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi was so bad at my
Oh
parents' house.
no.
Like I swear this is the last time I'll talk about it. But usually I'll get maybe 45 minutes to an hour of content. That'll take
Mhm.
maybe, I would say, half an hour to upload to like Spotify at the very
Okay.
most. I'm talking like 5-6 hours in San Diego. Like I would go to bed.
Wild.
Like before I'd go to bed, I would download it, upload everything, and then hope that by the time I woke up, it was done.
Oh my god.
and two out of the, what did we do? We do 2 weeks, so 2 out of the 8 didn't upload. So there's half a day gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's pain.
first world problems.
Content didn't upload. No, that's
yeah,
actually like horrible. Like so much work.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, we're good. We're back in some normalcy.
Back
sort
in
of,
business.
We're back.
even though it was 105 degrees right now.
Well,
Okay. So for our listeners out there, if you guys haven't seen this before, basically a little Wheel of Fortune type spinner. It's got, was it 13, 14 topics, Shelby?
I think that's right.
Something like
okay.
that. A bunch of different topics, and we'll just kind of go into it. Let's give it a spin, shall we?
Let's see what we got.
All right. The first one is recovery.
Recovery.
I just spilled my drink everywhere. So,
It's all right.
yeah, we'll get the
Deal with
maid
that later.
meaning myself to clean it up.
That's why I need a dog.
Yeah, I
this
do
is
it
why
for
I
you.
need a dog. Well, yeah. Apparently, I'm not used to this setup because I've been gone. I dropped 5 things already so far in this episode. So, yeah, recovery.
All right.
So, recovery is like, what do you do on, and travel can be part of it too, but what are you doing in terms of off course stuff? So,
Mhm.
You might be a little bit too young to have aches and pains like I do, but it's a definitely a more prominent part of golf and sports in general is just paying attention to self-care and, you know, ice
Right.
bathing or massage gunning, or like, is there anything that you
Mm.
do pretty routinely?
Oh yeah. So I think self-care is about just as important as practice and playing. If you're too tired to play, you're not gonna play well at all. I focus a lot on. I just try to listen to my body and giving it what it needs. So definitely after a tournament, well, first I'm sleeping. It's one of my favorite things to do. Napping, sleeping. If I'm tired, I'm gonna sleep. Case closed.
Yeah.
Next is I try to get in a little bit extra protein. My muscles are tired. That kind of helps them rebuild, strengthen, feeling better. I start to feel better after I get all of my nutrients in. Just I usually eat healthy, but more so after I've done something big or a lot of travel. Skincare is another huge thing that I'm into. Have morning, night routine. Um, just making sure my skin's happy and feeling good. And then just a lot of stretching. That's probably the biggest one is you have to stretch your body or else it's just gonna get so tight and your back's gonna lock up and it's
Mhm.
gonna cause problems in the future. So self-care is
Yeah.
huge. Um, really take the time to take care of yourself because if you don't, you're not gonna last.
Yeah.
The
What do
last
you
one
do?
was, gotcha.
Sorry. What do you do like to recover mentally when you get off the golf course? Because we all know that
Yeah,
like golf is extremely exhausting,
yeah.
like mentally, and you're just gonna like at the end of the day, you're like,
Yeah.
I need a break.
Yeah, so it sounds a little strange, but I kind of have, I like to call it golf Erica and then just regular Erica.
Yeah.
So golf Erica is professional, golf only focus. While I'm around people playing a tournament, I do that. And when I'm done,
Yeah.
I turn off golf Erica. I am just me. I like to chill. I'm lazy. I want to watch TV, hang out with my friends, hang out with my boyfriend, do anything but golf. Just give
Yeah.
yourself a full break from it and allow yourself to kind of have other hobbies that you're interested in. So,
Yeah.
to give myself, I'm really into ballet now. I started about a year ago, and that's kind of given me something else to love. Do things that
That's super cool.
you're interested in. Spend time with your pets, family. Just have another part of you that you enjoy. That's not just
Yeah.
golf, and that really kind of takes my mind off of golf, Erica, and makes me want to go
Right.
back to her.
Right.
Like
Very
once I,
cool.
get to have fun, do whatever, then yeah, I'm ready to go back to work. I'm ready to grind. I feel refreshed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
So I want to go back to that last part you said, stretching. Like what? I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with what is that?
So stretching, so that has actually been like a real game changer for me. I started really getting into it when I started ballet about a year ago, and it's translated to my golf game extremely well. But they both go hand in hand perfectly. I'm able to rotate my hips now, and it almost feels like I was in a shell before, and I just kind of cracked out of it. And I feel like I have a completely transformed body, less injuries, I sleep better, and I just feel better overall. I recover quicker. So I've kind of discovered that on my own that it's one of the most important things if for a golfer and if you're moving around a lot of stress on your body, being flexible really helps take some of that strain off of it and keeps you healthy.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like the worst. Like I haven't been able to touch my toes like since I was 8 years old.
That's okay. You just start slow and you'll start to notice changes within like a month. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. And like I said, I don't know if you're interested in ballet, but that's where I got my
I'd
start.
love to see
And
Nikki some ballet.
yeah, get your shoes on and just do a nice plie, stretch your hips. It
Why
translates
would
to
you like to
golf
see me
events.
do ballet?
I
Why
don't
would you
think
like
you
to see
could
me
do
do ballet,
ballet.
Shelby?
There's no shot you're doing ballet.
I recommend
Okay.
ballet to any golfer. It makes it so much easier to swing. And
Ballet is hard.
oh, it is one of the hardest.
I can't.
Well, this is gonna be an interesting episode.
You're gonna
Guys,
have
this
to
is
edit this.
I don't know if I want to. I think this is
Just
funnier
leave
than
it.
some. I'm tempted to leave it. It's
And she's back.
oh, and she's back.
You're getting like kicked
Yeah,
off.
this
I
is
feel like
weird.
she's putting us on now. I feel like this is a prank at this point.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Like I want to tell my stories. Like I've done a lot of shit.
Are you on Wi-Fi? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Full
you
bar.
are the first guest we've had have these issues, so I might keep this in the episode.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, I'm back.
You're just starting a bunch of firsts. I mean,
Yeah.
what's better than that?
Yeah,
You're a trendsetter.
exactly.
Okay, real quick,
You
your
know.
hot yoga story before it dies again.
All right. So I'm trying to show up this old lady because I think I'm good at yoga, and I look at her. She's an older woman. I'm like, okay, she'd probably be a little slow. They both just start going at it. We're up, down, side, and then I find that we're upside down, and and I'm looking at her. She's fine. The teacher's fine, and then I just black out. I just
You pass out?
So like I'm on the floor. Yeah, I passed out, and I'm on the floor. Have cold sweats. And like they didn't help me. Like they didn't help me get up either. Like I kind of came to, went to the bathroom, threw up, and then it's like okay, I'm gonna go now.
Yoga's intense.
So I left that studio like with my tail between my legs because I got cocky and thought like like I'm something and I'm about to show up this lady.
How hot was it in there? It was hot.
Hot.
Off of your reaction, it was hot.
It was just like I couldn't breathe. Like I got sick. I threw up and fell on my head.
That sounds like so much fun.
If you do hot yoga, just come in with a humble attitude and just don't think you're better than other people.
You definitely won't catch me doing hot yoga, so I don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah, I have not gone back to doing anything like that since. Now I do
so
ballet.
the yoga that I used to do was in like a gymnasium in college, and it didn't have AC, so it was hot yoga, but not called hot yoga. It was just hot in there.
It was
just
yoga with the hot added.
We were just
we were just hot. And I remember we had this guy on our team. It would be like 4 of us from the golf team that would go do it. It wasn't just for the hot yoga teacher. It was, it had some benefits too. But I remember this goofball on our team, Eddie Belk. He was in the back of the class and just decides to raise his hand and go, "Is it okay if I take my shirt off?" But it was like he was trying to hit on the teacher, right? It wasn't. I mean, it was hot in there, but the fact that he like asked for permission, and he's in good shape. Like he's a good looking dude. Like I can appreciate good looking guys, but I will never forget that. That was the funniest thing.
Oh my god. It's funny, like, have you ever been in a class where just somebody just like rips a fart and you can't laugh because it's serious. We're in Shavasana and it just I guess it slips out sometimes, but I want to laugh.
It's always
but you can't.
It's always the time like towards the end. I don't remember what it's called, but when you're basically just like laying there meditating, where you're just kind of
Shavasana.
Okay, so it's always during that time. Something always awkward happens.
And I just like can't keep my composure. I can't be quiet for that long and not
my
ADHD or like my intrusive thought. Yeah, my ADHD comes out. I just want to like scream or just do something
I'm gonna
to like
go.
break the silence.
Dude, I would.
Yeah, it's too quiet.
I would think
me.
in hot yoga that would be so dangerous, like that last part. Because what if you just passed out and people just thought, "Oh, he's just chilling there,
just sleeping."
Like sleeping.
Yeah, no, like we were like doing some type of like upside down pose, and I just like bonked my head on the floor. So like clearly something was wrong.
I'm trying to think the
Um,
last time I was upside down.
it was like kind
Look
of
for
like a
that.
downward dog thing, but like your one leg was up, and then you like kind of bend your elbow. But I lied.
That's too much. There's too much
I
going
was
on right
humbled
there.
really
Like,
quickly.
just no.
Yeah.
Downward dog. You got a
So,
leg in the
you know,
air. You're hanging
Shelby,
upside down.
I'm hot.
Shelby, I would figure you for a yoga girl. Are you not? Like,
Wow.
am I just stereotyping you?
Yeah, you sure are.
Uh-uh.
Because I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
Incorrect.
not a yoga girl. I'm a
You-
lift heavy things and put them back down kind of gal.
There you go. There you go. I tried that. Also not my thing. So now I am the Black Swan.
I think we just came up with your
Then-
catchphrase, Shelby.
What? Lift heavy things and put them back down?
Pick things up and put them down.
All right, let's get on to the next topic.
Next wheel of fortune.
Let's see what the spinner comes up with. Okay, so it landed on drills. So I think this is Shelby's favorite one.
Did you like
What would
drill?
be like your go-to drills when you're getting ready for a tournament or you're just practicing on a day-to-day basis? Like for me, I have one of those yellow putting arcs that I've used since I was like probably 10 years old. And that's always been like my foundation. I'll always go back to it if I feel like something's off. But yeah, stuff like that.
So for putting, I don't have an arc, but I use tees. So my stroke is more straight back, straight through. So I don't really have that arc. But I just kind of focus on taking my club through the tees. And then usually, I think it's called a gate drill. I'll set up 2 tees in front, and I want to see, is the ball going through the gate every time? Am I making a repeatable stroke? And then I like to practice more like 6, 10, and 20 feet, like distances that I'm definitely going to be trying to make birdie on, the scoring distances, or just trying to save par. So that's mainly what I focus on around the green.
Real quick, Shelby, did you feel the judgment when she's like, "I'm straight back, straight through. I don't have an arc." Like
I felt
you do?
it a little
Like,
bit. Yeah.
I felt.
I don't have an arc, so I don't really understand what you're saying, but
I'm gonna be honest, I don't have an arc either.
Okay. Well, now I'm just being
But
ganged up on.
I learned that a few years ago, and I learned that blade putters don't really work for me
I don't
because
use
of
blade
that.
putters for that reason. Mallet only.
Well, now I just feel
So-
judged for my
You
putting
should.
stroke. So,
Yeah.
well,
I just want you to get
It's-
better.
Just do better, Nick.
it's pretty.
Do better.
I'm not gonna lie, my putting was pretty trash the last couple of weeks. So you're not wrong.
So maybe you should take a look at the mallets.
That's what yeah. It's not. It wasn't.
You use a
It
mallet.
wasn't the arrow. It was the Indian.
Who's the Indian? Yeah.
Anyway, what other drills do you have while
feel
I'm trying
that.
to sift through this awkward moment?
I'm not like super into like specific drills, but I have a lot of things that I'm looking for in my swing that I want to feel while I'm practicing. So when I have wedges, short iron, mid iron, long iron, those are all of those swings are a little different. So for example, with a long iron, I want to set up to the ball with like one ball from the middle. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. I want to make sure I don't have any shaft lean for like a 5 iron, and I want to make sure my shoulder isn't kind of dipping anything, because you don't really want to hit up on the ball with a 5 iron. So very square middle type swing, and that helps me get around my body more, helps me kind of feel that. Whereas if it's a shorter iron, you kind of want to put your weight more in the front foot, and it's a little bit of a shallower swing. You're not hitting down on it as much. So those points are what I'm looking for. And then when you switch to the driver, you do want to tilt a little more, so you're kind of setting yourself to hit up on it and loading in your inside right foot.
Got it.
So it's little points like that I look for, and then I just hit over and
Got
over
it.
and over
So
until I
it
feel
sounds
like.
like, and this is kind of something I instill whenever I don't really teach, but whenever I give people pointers, is a lot of, I would say in my mind, it's like 90% of what you're going to do in your swing is based on what your setup is like.
Yeah.
Is like
Yeah.
you're allowing yourself, like people that stand too far away are perfect examples, right? You're allowing yourself for so many different variations of your swing because there's so much space,
Right.
right? Where it's like you could go extremely to the other side where you're really, really close and you feel like you can't even move at all. Like I constantly battle this where I'm like, I need to get so close to it that my swing can only go in one certain area. And then this is a little more technical, but like having certain tilts in from your upper body to your lower body will only allow the club to go in a certain direction, right? And I think that's where
Right.
I was listening to another podcast the other day talking about like the left foot, like the left heel coming off the ground, and how so many people are told when they're started that you shouldn't do that. Where then it's actually 40% of guys on tour that do that. And I'm one of those people,
Yeah.
especially for like my longer clubs, because it helps.
Yeah, it helps you load into your back
Yeah.
foot.
And it helps me with transition a lot.
Right.
Like I'll
Yeah.
step my heel through and that'll
I keep my left foot kind of open so that I can turn through it a little easier. I don't lift my left foot, but I make sure that it's open, especially with the driver, so that I can get through it. Because if I don't, we're
right.
gonna.
Shelby, what's your drill situation like these days?
I don't practice. I'm like Brooks Koepka. I just show up and play.
I love that. Same.
I
show up 10 minutes before my tea time and just jump on the first tee.
Who practices anymore?
Well, you're a working girl now, so
I am a working girl.
You are. It's part of sitting
Being
at
an
a
adult.
desk and paying rent and doing that kind of thing.
No thanks.
I had a friend, or she was on the podcast, Hannah Hugar, who I did some encore stuff with while I was in San Diego. She's a stud. Like she has so many acclimates for her college career, and she just started like a full-time job. She's like, I can't get through the ball. I'm like, because you've been sitting at a desk all day.
Yeah,
exactly. Like it's something to something that'll happen.
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring it back to stretching. If you stretch your hips, it just makes it 10 times easier. Like it's effortless.
Let me write this down. Stretching.
Yeah, stretch your hips. If you're gonna stretch anything, stretch your hips.
How do you spell it?
Stretch.
HIPS.
All right, let's do one more and we'll let you go. Thanks for the time.
tea.
This is a good one. Probably my favorite one. Probably Shelby's favorite one. Secret skills. So you kind of talked about ballet a little bit, so we can't do that. But do you have any secret skills that separates you from the bunch, or that you just love? Mine is harmonica somehow. I don't really like that, but
yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's your secret.
You can throw down on the harmonica.
No,
That's pretty cool.
He's not good at it, but he can do it.
As long as the passion is there. I can solve a Rubik's Cube.
Oh,
okay.
That's cool.
I can't do that.
I have a side business. It's called Tropic Torts. It is, I sell tortoises. I breed and sell redfoot tortoises. They're my babies. I have about 20 of them. I can actually maybe show you one.
That's crazy.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, so I will go to a reptile show. I'm not going to show you the dad because he's mating right now. It's pretty gross.
Yeah, this is a family show, so can
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
This is going to be a show about my pets now. So this is one of them. He doesn't want to come out right now, but so I love animals, and I have a bunch of redfoot tortoises that I keep and rehabilitate and sell. So I don't know if that's a
I mean,
skill,
I feel
but
like it is. That's pretty
it's like
cool.
something I know a lot about and just kind of do for fun. Tropic torts,
That's super cool. That was probably the
you know, my little
that was probably
That
the
is
last thing I
interesting.
expected you to say.
Yeah, I did not think you'd.
like, let me show you my tortoises.
I mean, that's maybe
That's
maybe I'm
great.
too. Am I too California, Shelby, to like not even
Yeah.
like that doesn't even register in my
I
brain. That's awesome.
I definitely am like a full
Yes.
Florida woman. You
Have you
know,
seen Turtle
can
Man?
find me like in the woods. Turtle Man is like,
Nick, you have to go look at Turtle Man. Just look it up.
Okay,
it's called Call of the Wild Man, and basically he goes to like local places and removes large like alligator, snapper, tortoises, turtles, anything that's like in the area that's causing a problem. It's not just tortoises, but you can see him pulling out these giant like bite your head off snapping turtles,
They're
and
huge.
it's really entertaining.
And we swim in those waters.
Yeah.
Unfazed.
okay.
Completely. Florida people are so unfazed by everything.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
Yeah, so my boyfriend, he's a wakeboarder. So something that a lot of people don't know is that Orlando is like the capital for pro wakeboarding. So spending time with him, I learned how to wake surf. I don't do it a lot, but I can shred.
That's cool. She's got a lot of secret skills.
I think you can like combine the turtle stuff and the wake surfing. I think there's
Just, like, hold it
there's
up.
like
Yeah.
there's that's a new YouTube channel waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Where somebody
Patience
just
for
you
it.
start in the wake and then somebody tosses you like another turtle
A
after
tortoise.
another and you
And like I just kind of
tortoise.
like balance them up.
She's a
Yeah. I can maybe put up like a slack line. My boyfriend can like go forward and backwards on a slack line. It's kind of from him that I've learned how to do interesting things. He can just do a bunch of random things like juggle. Rubik's Cube is what I learned from him. So he's kind of made me a seasoned side skill person that I don't really need these skills for anything. But
jack of all trades, master.
yeah, you can see me in the airport on a Rubik's Cube, like, you know, people looking at me like, yeah,
people are like,
she's really going hard on that. Yeah. So
have you tried those like super gnarly Rubik's cubes that are like it's
like,
almost like a circle?
it's like a sphere. Absolutely not. I can barely solve the Rubik's Cube. Like I can solve it, but you have to memorize a bunch of algorithms, and if you mess up one, you mess up the whole thing. So yeah, I don't have the patience for anything further than that.
No.
I just like I'm proud of my Rubik's Cube, and that's where I'm gonna stop.
I think, Shelby, I need to come up with another secret skill.
Yeah, you're sounding kind of lame right now.
What's your secret skill? Oh, your harmonica. I can also play violin. I was one of those kids.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Bust it out. Where is it?
It would sound so bad right now. I could play some pepperoni pizza for you guys. That was one of my favorites. It goes like and that's it. So yeah, those are my skills. I also play golf.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No.
No.
Way.
And also one more side one, I just started modeling, so that's actually been really fun. It's not really a skill, but I've learned how to like walk the runway. So
it's a skill.
I feel like
otherwise everybody would be doing it. Like
it's more intricate than I thought. So
yes.
You know.
Yeah. Do you have to walk around with a book on your head and stuff like that?
Haven't done that, but yeah, something I learned, you have to start with your left foot first. It's like if you don't know that, you're not gonna make it. Left foot first, like kind of push your head up, shoulders square, and like it almost doesn't feel like a walk. It feels like, I don't know, like you're some weird like creature, like kind of stomping around. But
well, it's a performance, right? To a certain degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's
So
why I haven't like my modeling career hasn't taken off because I've been
That's
going
gotta
right
be
foot
it.
first this whole
yeah,
time.
you can't be doing that.
gotta
Like
be it.
Gigi Hadid said this in Vogue. Like,
Oh,
mm-mm.
Gigi said
Mm.
it.
Yeah, Gigi said it.
You
Like,
got no shot.
no. So I'm a left footer, 100%.
I like it.
Okay. I'll go walk around the building and see if I can work on that.
Oh yeah, like I'll make like any.
Go
Like, I'll
do
be in
your
Target
walk.
and I'll start practicing my walk. It's fun, and then someone will look at me.
You're in the airport just walking around waiting for your flight.
Yeah, I make that my like runway. It's fun. Parking
I
garage is a good
remember
one.
I remember a girl. I was in San Diego, and I don't know if you guys have been in that airport, but there's a section of that airport that's super small, like it's just a circle of like 10 gates. And this girl, she was probably closer to your guys' age, a little bit younger. Looked like she was in school or something. But she had her big backpack on and was like she had to at least do like 40 laps. Like just going
Trying to close
around in a
those Apple
circle.
Watch rings.
Like a little
Yeah.
hamster ball.
Yeah. I'm like, good for you, but
Good for you, sis, but that's not me.
yeah. I got one of those new like garment, they're not new, but a garment bag. It's a new bag for me where you can put like a suit and like zip it up and then
Yeah.
that's like the outer layer. It's like a duffel bag.
Yeah.
But I tried to pack 2 weeks worth of stuff in like a 3-day bag. So that thing was heavy as hell. And I
Oh my
was
God.
like
In a garment
waiting.
bag.
Yeah, and I'm waiting in TSA and I'm just like, you know what? This is my workout for today.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
I was
airport
gonna
is a workout.
right?
sure.
And my backpack had this other part. I don't understand why I was patted down in TSA because my backpack had like 15 different items for like recording, filming, like my microphone was in there, like all this stuff was in there, but they decided to pat me down. I'm
That's
like,
sus. Like, why do you have so much recording stuff?
it might honestly
And you have a
it might have
garment bag
been
full of 2 weeks worth of stuff. Also
Yeah.
sus.
yeah, I don't know. I honestly think it was my ID because my ID makes me look like a terrorist a little bit.
I'm gonna need you to
So
elaborate on that.
I have a way more facial hair in my ID than I currently have. So
Just look mean.
I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize why this guy gave me a reach around in the middle of the airport, and I just can't.
That's traumatizing.
So it is a little bit. You know, he could have at least bought me a drink afterwards.
Yeah.
I didn't really even know they did that. Like, that's a possibility for anybody.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is he used the back of his hand in any of the areas
Oh
that
my God.
mattered and made it very clear that he was going to use the back of his hand. I'm like, at this point,
You're like, just go for it, dude.
you could use anything. Like take the gloves off. Let's just have at it.
I wonder if you like start crying, if, like they won't do it.
I should have tried. I can
feel
actually
like-
cry. I can
You could
cry
be our
on
test-
cue, or I used to be
our
able
test
to.
I
dummy.
mean, I can't cry on cue, but like I cry a lot, so.
It might have just been happening anyway.
Yeah, like if I had to go in like a private room to get pat down, I feel like that might drum up some tears.
Yeah, I just didn't want to go into anything private. I'm like, just
No.
let's get it over with. God, that was a heck of a day.
I'm so sorry that
Anyway,
happened.
honestly, it's one of the funniest. That was one of the best flights I've probably ever had, just because I leaned so
If I
far
had that
into
flight,
it.
I would have needed like a 6-hour nap after that. Like that just sounds exhausting. Recovery, back to recovery.
Back to recovery.
Yeah, I threw on my hyper ice back wrap thing as soon as I got home. That is one of the best things I miss. Like I missed having that. I didn't have it in San Diego, but
Oh
that
yeah,
thing
those things are nice. I go to the chiropractor a lot, and they wrap me up with that big ice thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I have not.
Those are nice. If you put like a TINS unit on with the put and then throw that ice boy on there, you're ready to go.
I have all those things because I don't stretch.
Okay. I have those things too.
No, that thing is awesome.
Yeah.
Do we have time for one more?
Yeah.
Can we do one more? Sure, Shelby? You sure?
What are the other
Okay, we'll do one more.
categories?
Dude, I just dropped my pen again. The other categories, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
We're going to have to figure it out.
We're gonna have to spin and find
You're
out.
right. You're right.
We're going to have to spin
You're
and
right.
find out.
I
I think this thing's rigged, though, because it just went to recovery
love
again.
a good spin the wheel challenge.
It might be rigged. It just keeps going to the same
Just
ones.
pick one you want.
Okay. We'll talk about your home course. So I'm always interested to learn like how people learn how to play golf, because I feel like a lot of it is based off of where their home course
Right.
was. And that this can kind of drift into a few different topics too, but you know, it's a lot of community too, especially if you're like me. I was at a private golf course where a lot of the people still know me from my time of like growing up there and playing in college and professionally. So I'm always curious. Like I've met people that learned on really tight courses that are amazing drivers of the ball, but they may not be the longest because it's so narrow. So I'm just curious on that kind of
Like
stuff.
where?
Like, what was your home course and yeah, how do you think it shaped how you play?
So my home course is a course called Twin Rivers Golf Club. It's maybe like 10 minutes away. That's kind of where I learned where I started playing. And then there's a little driving range in Oviedo. It's called Tee It Up. That's like where like I really got into golf, but I didn't like play Twin Rivers a whole bunch. It's a long, pretty narrow course, and I think that's kind of where I learned how to get some of my distance. But I'm able to adapt to like most courses because I never really had a consistent home course. I was always kind of bouncing around, trying to, find a place that wasn't super expensive. I wasn't a member anywhere. My family, we just like didn't have the money for that at the time. So it was mainly wherever I could get on. So that has kind of helped me be able to adapt to many different types of courses because I was never consistently on just one place. There is one up the street that is where I learned. They're not the nicest there, and I don't love it, but it definitely made me a tough golfer.
Well, I think it's actually better that you do it that way. I think that's honestly hurt me a little bit because I got very used to a certain style of golf, and I even had like in college I had a recruiter come play with me. I started a little bit late, but he played 18 holes with me and was like, that course was great, but this is not going to help you in college because nothing you play is going to be like this. And I had a decent career, but it was like very clear. Like the only course that was really similar to mine was ironically our home course. It's like a 1920s build, like short but small fast greens. So I think it, especially for you guys that are still playing, the more of a chameleon that you are, the better your chances are going to be. Like I think that's a lot. That's like pretty understated for any of the professionals that are
Every
playing
tournament,
consistently. That
golf courses change so
have
much,
to
and
come up with
a
a new
big
game
part
plan
of
like
tournaments
every tournament they
is
play in,
looking at
right? Because
what
it's going to
course
be
you are
different.
playing, who designed it, what type of grass is it, is there elevation, the air, everything. Like if I see, a course that Pete Dye designed, it's over for my drive.
Right.
But you just kind of get familiar with architects and types of grass that you like, don't like, and go from there. And a chameleon is a good way to put it. Just shifting every time. In Colorado, I've just played in Denver. I hit an 8-iron like 190 and just flew the green just because of the elevation. And that's, you have to consider that if you're going to be able to compete at higher levels like that. School this year will be in California. It's at Dinosaur. So being out in California, the ball does go further. It's desert golf, and I'm here in Florida. Desert golf is a lot different than what I'm used to. So I'll be there up there early, just trying to adjust to those conditions and type of grass, that type of hazards. There's no cactuses out here. So yeah, you just have to be a chameleon.
Right, right. We can get well. I can give you some help on those courses. Shelby's in
I
your court.
am not
All
gonna
right.
give any help.
Well, I think that's been the allotment of our time. Erikah, thanks so much for joining us this week.
Yes, thank
For
you.
our listeners out there, go check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, and we will be back next week. We will see you on the next episode. See ya.
All right. Thank you.
This has been Off the Collar, powered by Backswing Golf Events.